Hey guys, this is Mike with Open It and Play. Today we're going to be looking at another Marvel Legends review, this time of the Retro Spider-Man card series cardiac figure. I actually thought I might have reviewed this guy already because I had him open for a very long time, but he was just at home and kind of sitting on the display for a while, and I just sort of forgot, like, did I review this guy or not? But anyways, I've had him for a while, but yeah, I wanted to go over him with you guys and see what you think of Cardiac, both the character and the figure. I was familiar with this guy because of the cards. I think it was the Marvel, geez, which one was it? Was it the Marvel Skybox cards or was it the Fleer Ultra Spider-Man cards? I forgot which ones, but back in the day, I did have the card of this guy, so I was always curious about him, but I didn't have any comics with him. So I just kind of got into comics a bit late to, like, I arrived after this guy's moment had passed. But anyways, you can see, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Dr. Eli Wortham or Dr. Elias Wortham or Wortham. Maybe there's two ways to pronounce each of those names, so I don't know which one he would use. But anyways, he is, I think he's a doctor if I remember right, and he's trying to avenge his brother who was basically harmed by evil megacorporation corporate scumbags who did stuff in the medical industry. So he's kind of really he's really of this time, it seems like, but he was made quite a while back in the 90s, I guess, or the late 80s. But yeah, he kind of perfectly fits this age of crony capitalism, so seems like he could make a comeback now. But anyways, let's get him out of the box. I did cut this already. It's not really a box, but get him out of his tray. Okay, and you can see he comes with, it looks like two glowing energy balls, but they're actually one because they just have halves here. And then his staff, and then I think he uses part of his suit's power to charge this staff. And then he also has a glider, but the figure unfortunately doesn't come with it. So we'll get the accessories out and try to take a look at them real quick. Ugh, that thing's kind of hard to get out because of the shape of it. There we go. And his staff is sort of taped in here. The tape is a bit loose because I had the staff out before. Okay, and his alternate hands and Cardiac himself. The weather's getting warmer now, so I don't have to worry quite as much about breaking the figures. But let's take a look at the accessories first as usual, and we'll see if we can get my camera to focus. As usual, it's a challenge, but okay. I'm shooting this after work, so it's kind of dark outside. But anyways, so this is what the energy balls look like from the inside. That's where the paint is, so it doesn't like scratch off. And then it looks like this on the outside. I don't know, it would look a little more interesting if the paint were on the outside, but I know they didn't want it to like scrape off easily, so that's why they designed it this way. And then with his staff, which you can see here, it's very simple. It's just a piece of molded plastic that's kind of shiny metallic looking. But unfortunately, it's not very sturdy, so it's kind of like the G.I. Joe classified guns where they like bend all over the place. I had Cardiac holding this and it did get bent. I wish I could drill a hole all the way through here to make it perfectly straight by putting a piece of metal in there. I have the metal, but I don't have any way of drilling that much. So, but yeah, I suppose you could straighten it a little bit if you drilled through the side, but knowing my luck, I would probably screw something up and it'd poke out the hole. So poke a hole through it, I should say. But anyways, you clip this on sort of like this, I think. Is that right? Maybe like this, and then like this. Hopefully I'm doing it right. Basically, it's just going to grip on one side. Okay, maybe like that. I didn't scrunch it together the best, but yeah, it looks good from a lot of angles, but if you get it kind of like dead on, it doesn't look great, but that's just the design. So, okay, and then onto his arms, his hands. He's got these two gripping hands. So those are just to hold his staff properly. Not too special, but they do seem to have like a glove appearance where it's got little wrinkles. So, all right, and then this is the figure himself. And I think the Marvel Legends team did a good job on him. They gave him his due. A lot of people were waiting for this figure to come out because they liked the character for a long time. People have been waiting, but they gave him a pretty unique sculpt from what I can tell. There's probably some reuse on some of the parts, but definitely some of this stuff is new because they actually sculpted this little, what could we call it? The little signal, the little electrical pulse for like a heart monitor at the hospital. They actually sculpted that in, so it's not just paint, it's sculpted in. So they did a lot of sculpting. New. Yeah, and then of course these are new, I think, unless there's a different character with that, but not that I can think of. These, I'm not sure. There might be some other 90s characters that have those, so. But, yeah, and then this should be new too. But, yeah, anyways, there's some disagreement about the choice for the face. They gave him a nose, but if we look at the artwork here, you can clearly see he doesn't have a nose really portrayed. It's more flat. I like the flat way because that's the way that the card back in the old days showed him. So I'd prefer him to be flat, but I think I am going to try to modify it. First, I'll try shaving it a little bit flatter and see how it looks. But if it still sticks out too much, I might try to sculpt over a little bit. But I'm worried that I'll screw that up because I think he does have some painted detail, especially with the black in here. So you have to be very careful if you try to resculpt it. So, okay, let's look at his articulation. He's got a dumbbell joint, and his dumbbell joint is better designed than most Marvel Legends dumbbell joints, so that's nice for the neck. So he can look around quite a bit, and he can show a lot of attitude. His upward range is still not great, especially for being like pretty dynamic character. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be adequate for most people. The sculpt work is pretty nice, so some people might forgive them for that. But with his arms, these do go around, but if I were you, I would be kind of careful with this, just because I did have the Iron Man one that's a bit of a different design, but kind of similar in some ways, and it broke. But his arms will go up about there, but don't push that too far, please. Otherwise it might break. The bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows. That'll get you about like that. His wrists hinge and pivot, of course. I think these are all, oh no, sorry, this is a vertical hinge. Vertical hinge. Okay, the ones for his staff are vertical hinges. These are both horizontal, so the other one is a fist. So yeah, you don't get two fists, sadly, but okay. And then his diaphragm joint, it can go side to side like that, back, forward, legs kick up pretty well. He's got a stubborn thigh cut, but it does move. Double jointed pinless knees, but you do have a lot of traffic here, so you can't really move it as much as you'd like. You kind of have to play with it a bit. Okay, and then I think unfortunately, he doesn't have boot cut. Okay, and his leg or his feet will hinge back that far, and that far forward. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, and usual ankle pivot. So yeah, that's cardiac. I do like this guy a lot for the character design and the costume, and it is kind of a nostalgic thing for me, even though I don't know that much about the character, just because I was used to it. So sorry, now it's out of focus. And we're gonna check his height real quick. Cardiac is standing at the moment, he's standing at about 6 and what is that? 6 3/16, almost 6 1/4, but just a little bit less. Is this thing gonna focus? It's not gonna focus. Okay, and that will be about 15.7 centimeters. Sorry, that thing does not want to focus. So yeah, around here is where he was standing. But anyways, yeah, he's a pretty normal sized guy. So, all right, thanks for joining me for this look at cardiac, and hope to see you in the next video. I hope things are going well with you. Hope you've got a safe situation as far as your government not falling into fascism. So, okay, thanks guys. Take care and see you in the next video. Bye for now.